Hey there, folks, tossing and turning all night, staring at the ceiling while your brain replays every embarrassing thing you've done since third grade? Introducing the all-new Crime Scene Sleep Aid. Just pour yourself a generous glass and feel your worries drift away. Stress from work, gone, household responsibilities, forgotten. That text you shouldn't have sent? Tomorrow's problem. Made from only the finest fermented grapes, Crime Scene Sleep Aid goes down smooth and gets to work fast. Available in 3 strengths: Pinot Grigio Chardonnay and Mad Dog 2020. Whether you're looking for a gentle nudge toward dreamland or a complete system shutdown, Crime Scene Sleep Aid has a formula for you. Why count sheep when you can count ounces? Available wherever sophisticated poor decisions are sold. Crime Scene Sleep Aid, because unconsciousness is just a good night's sleep with better marketing.
Before we begin tonight's episode, we need to give a quick but important warning. This podcast covers real crimes and real victims. Because of that, this episode may contain graphic discussions of violence, sexual assault, abuse, murder, and crimes against children. Some listeners may find the content disturbing or emotionally difficult to hear. Please take care of yourself while listening. Make sure you're in the right headspace before continuing, and know that it's always okay to pause the episode, skip it entirely, or come back another time.
Welcome back to Shadows in the Pines with your hosts, Dan and Bekah.
In the spring of 1986, a 12-year-old girl climbed on her bicycle and headed to a Tacoma park. She never came home. A few months later, a 13-year-old girl climbed onto her bicycle and headed to another Tacoma park. She never came home either. And if you were a parent living in Tacoma that year, that's about the point where everything changed. Kids who had always ridden their bikes suddenly weren't riding them anymore. Parents who had always told their children to be home by dinner started keeping a much closer eye on where they were going and who they were with, because nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew who was responsible, and nobody knew whether another child would disappear next. For years, those murders haunted Tacoma. For decades, they remained unsolved. Families waited. Detectives retired. New investigators took over. And still, the questions remained. What happened to Jennifer Bastian? What happened to Michella Welch? And after all those years, would anyone ever be able to answer them? This is a story of Jennifer Bastian and Michella Welch.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. Mm-hmm. We're so glad to have you here.
I like our new commercial. That was funny.
Ah, yes.
Yes, comes in 3 great flavors.
No, not flavors. Strengths.
Oh, strengths. That's right.
Yeah.
3 great strengths.
Mad Dogs is the strongest of them all.
Oh, my God.
That's the one that's going to have you not only sleeping well, but sleeping on the curb.
Yeah.
That's funny because it's true.
What?
Yeah. Thanks. Let me try not to bang this microphone around today. So the sun is shining.
Mm-hmm.
We're back in the studio.
Yeah.
Last week we had a non-traditional episode talking about our adventure at CrimeCon.
Yeah.
We did not make it a travel diary.
No.
Kept it light.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about some shit.
Yes.
Back to the regular old murders today.
I know.
Regular old true crime.
True crime it is.
Yeah. And we're headed to Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about Michella Welch and Jennifer Bastian. Now, if you've spent any amount of time around the Pacific Northwest or Pacific Northwest true crime, you've probably heard these names before. And it's very rare that they get mentioned separately from each other.
Right.
And in fact, I'd be willing to bet that most people who are familiar with this case have only heard Michella Welch and Jennifer Bastian's names together.
I would imagine so, yeah.
So, you hear the names, you hear Tacoma, you hear bicycles, you hear parks, and pretty quickly the whole thing starts getting, kind of condensed down into a handful of details that get repeated over and over again in podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one, it's a little bit older, but
yeah,
it's been covered in a few different podcasts, and there's Dateline episodes on it, and investigative discovery and whatnot. So no short of information.
That's good though.
Yeah,
it's really good.
And was a little bit familiar with this one, but not overly. So once I started digging into it, I realized there's a lot about this case that I either didn't know or thought I knew and was fucking really wrong about.
This one just tickles the back of my brain because all I can think of is the year, and I was like, oh, I was 10.
Yeah.
When this happened. But I can just remember.
And it's the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you grew up in the 80s, you probably already know where I'm going with this. We had a certain level of freedom back then.
Yeah, we did.
That, I mean, let's face it, would make a lot of parents today uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's so true. Because you didn't just got on
Which
your
is
bike
the
and you just
politest
went.
way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and that's just the way it was. We got on our bikes in the morning and
we just went.
we didn't come back until the streetlights were coming on, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it was for
People who lived in
everyone
town.
I knew.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like, once the streetlights are coming on, you can get your ass home.
It was a little harder in the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have streetlights. But yeah. Oh, I miss those sense of days.
But
those
that's the way it was. You know what I mean? You disappeared for the entire day. And as long as you showed back up when you were supposed to, nobody gave a shit.
It's true.
At all.
It's so true.
And Tacoma, of course, is not unique in that regard in the 80s.
No.
And that's how things were back then. Kids, we rode our fucking bikes everywhere.
Everywhere.
You don't see kids on bikes too much.
No, not a whole lot.
My child got hit by a fucking car.
Oh my God.
Yeah. On her bike 2 days ago. I wasn't going to mention it, but I mean, we're talking about bikes.
Yeah.
She's okay.
Thank God.
But a little scraped up, no worse for wear. But yeah, it's fucking bonkers.
I don't like
the
that.
fucking people driving in the goddamn town.
Yeah, keep your eyes. Come on, guys. Watch
So
for those pedestrians.
My point is that you don't really see a whole lot of kids riding bikes anymore these days. It's mostly homeless people and tweakers.
Yeah.
They're on the bikes the kids used to have.
Oh my God. Yeah. I guess there are a lot more e-bikes out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's March of 1986. Yeah, we're 10. We're 10 when this is going on. And it's spring break. And Michella Welch is 12 years old at the time. Living in Tacoma with her family. And, like a lot of kids on spring break, not really interested in sitting around the house all day.
No way.
And she was the oldest of 3 sisters. And the girls all had piano lessons scheduled later that afternoon. But before the piano lessons, they wanted to go and spend time at Puget Park, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
So they worked it out with their mom and got permission to head to the park before piano lessons. And there's really nothing unusual about that. The park is a familiar place. Families are using it. Kids are playing there. People are walking the fucking trails and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they load up their bikes and head to the park. And, at this point, that's all it really is. 3 sisters heading out to enjoy a part of the day before they have to be at piano lessons later that afternoon.
Yeah.
So they go, and they get to the park, and Michella decides that she's going to ride home and put together some lunch so that they can eat in the park before they all have to leave for piano lessons. Pretty straightforward plan.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to head home, make lunch, bring it back to the park. They're going to eat and head off.
Yeah.
And based on what her sisters find later, that appears to be, pretty much exactly what happened. So, now her sisters, Angela and Nicole, they're still at the park and they need to use the bathroom.
Oh.
So they go to a local business to use the bathroom. And when they get back, they find food and Easter candy and Michella's bicycle. So, from the sister's perspective, it looks like Michella has done exactly what she said she was going to do. She went, she packed lunch, she brought some stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly came back. The stuff is there, but there's no Michella. So the sisters have a distinctive call that they use to get each other's attention.
Oh, I like
when they're
that.
far away, like some families do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really loud yoo-hoo. And they said that it could be heard like miles away.
I like that.
And when they heard it, they knew what it meant and they would respond.
Mm.
Only Michella did not respond when they did that. And so immediately they're like, okay, something's wrong because this is not,
Not like her.
yeah. And, it's a call that is something that the sisters used all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And normally somebody answers, but this time nobody's answering. So, they're walking around and they keep calling out for her, expecting to hear something back, but they don't.
Mm.
And the more they look, the stranger it becomes and the more nervous they get because her bicycle's there and the lunches are there. And there's every indication that she made it back to the park, but she is nowhere to be found. So,
Oh, that gets a little scary.
right. And eventually they realize, okay, we're not going to find her on our own. So they did exactly what they'd been taught to do. They contacted the neighbor their family used as an emergency contact whenever their mom was at work.
Smart.
Yeah. And the neighbor came to the park and joined the search. Now, at this point, you're not really thinking abduction or anything crazy.
No.
Because all her shit is there, essentially. Yeah. Like, everything says, like, she came back to the park.
Yeah.
But nobody could figure out where she'd gone afterwards. So the sisters and the neighbor are searching, and they're calling out for her, and they're using the yoo-hoo call.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer that this goes on with no answer, the more nervous they get.
Oh, yeah.
So eventually, this neighbor realizes, okay, this has gone way beyond a bunch of kids looking for their sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes and calls Barbara, their mother, at work. Now, of course, Barbara has no reason to think anything is wrong. As far as she knows, her daughters are at the park, spending a few hours, and then going to piano lessons later that afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Normal day.
Yeah.
So she gets the phone call, and it's the neighbor telling her they can't find Michella. Not that she'd been hurt, not that anything had happened, just that nobody can find her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, it probably would have made even less sense. You know what I mean? Because kids wander off. And they get distracted and lose track of time. And there's 100 explanations that come to mind before you jump to the worst possible one.
Mm-hmm.
But all she knew is that something didn't feel right, and she knew she needed to get there. So she left work and headed for Puget Park also, and started doing the same thing everybody else was doing, which was trying to find her daughter.
Yeah.
Now, by the time Barbara gets there, it's kind of already moved past the point where it feels like some kind of minor mix-up. Because it's not Michella being late getting back from her friend's house, and it's not one of the girls losing track of time. Mm-hmm. It's her bike sitting there and the food she'd gone home to make sitting there. So, she starts doing what everybody else is doing and looking, and they keep searching, and they're calling out for her, and they just cannot find her. So as the afternoon, progresses, the search kind of starts getting bigger. And more people are becoming aware that a 12-year-old girl is missing from the park. And so, you get a bunch of adults, and the police are finally getting involved, and really, the whole day changes from here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a strange and terrifying space for you to be in as a parent.
Yeah.
Because your brain is trying to stay practical. Mm-hmm. Like, you're trying to answer questions like, okay, where was she last seen? What was she wearing? Who saw her?
Right.
Did anybody see her leave? Did anybody see her talking to someone?
Mm-hmm.
But underneath all of that, you're still a fucking mom, and your goddamn daughter's missing.
Yeah, how are you not just in a panic?
Yeah. So, I mean, the search continues well into the evening. Mm-hmm. And Puget Park is not just some flat open playground where you can just stand in one place and see everything. There's wooded areas and trails, and there's a gulch kind of running through the landscape. So searching it is not as simple as walking around and looking behind a couple trees. No. And as it gets darker, of course, it becomes way fucking harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and as it becomes darker, Michelle has now been missing for quite a few hours. And if she's hiding, she's not come out from wherever she was. She's not responding to any of the calls. She didn't go ahead and leave them and decide to just go to piano lessons on her own. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
And she had not been found by anybody searching the park. So eventually they bring in search dogs. Mm-hmm. And late that night, around 11:27 p.m., one of the dogs alerted near a fire pit area in the gulch. And that is unfortunately where Michella's body was found.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, they do find her. Mm-mm. And at that point, it's not good.
No. But you know what? I'm glad that it didn't take them days or weeks or months to find her.
Yes. Right.
As unsettling as that is. Oh, my God.
So, now we have, I will say that, it's not good. She was sexually assaulted and then killed. So now we get detectives. They're standing in Puget Park trying to piece together,
yeah, what happened?
What the fuck has happened?
Yeah.
They don't know a whole lot to begin with. They know that they got there. She went home and came back like she said she was going to. Mm-hmm. So what they don't know is what the fuck happened next.
Yeah.
And that's the piece, that's the missing piece. That's kind of everything,
Yeah.
So they kind of try to start working backward through her movements, trying to count for every part of the afternoon. And they want to know who's seen her, where she'd been, what time those sightings occurred. And they're trying to narrow down a window of time that is fucking, let's be honest, it's surprisingly small.
Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like a whole lot of time would have passed between going home, getting lunch, and coming
Exactly.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. She had vanished during some long stretch where nobody knew where she was. She went home, completed the errand that she went there to do, and came back.
Yeah.
And then somehow in that time,
when her sisters left to go use the bathroom.
Exactly. And how long does it take them to go to a neighboring business?
Right.
And to my understanding, is literally right across from the park.
Yeah.
Like a gas station.
Yeah.
And then come back. You know what I mean? So
wow.
It's very quickly that this happens.
Yeah.
So and all it means is it means that the person responsible had likely crossed paths with her during that very specific period of time.
That makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, detectives, they start talking with people who had been in Puget Park that afternoon, and there were people there. It's not an empty park hidden away from the world.
No.
Hundreds of families use it every day. Kids use it. People walk through it, which, means somebody might have seen something and not realized its importance until later.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So they start collecting these memories, and one person remembered seeing Michella, and another remembered seeing a man. Somebody else remembered where they had been standing, what trail they had used, or what time they had left. Individually, those details are not very important, but detectives hope that together they can start forming a picture of what the fuck has happened here.
Right.
And one of the things that they learned was that several people remembered seeing a man in the area that day. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean much. Parks are fucking
park,
full of people.
Right.
And seeing a quote-unquote man in a park isn't very unusual.
No, unless it was like Women's Day out.
Right, exactly.
Yes, they hold a man
right?
around. Yeah. Oh, my God.
But yeah, when they start comparing notes, they kind of realize that some of the descriptions share a lot of similarities.
Okay.
Because the man people described was white, young, thin, and dressed almost entirely in denim. So, they're looking for the CEO of Levi Strauss. He's roaming the park in a Canadian tuxedo.
I love it.
Grab them kids, Denim Dan's on the loose. I don't know. Sorry, that shit's funny to me. Fucking, because denim was huge back then. You know what I mean?
It was.
And I
You
can just
had
picture it.
Acid wash. You had faded. You had colored. Oh
This
my God.
dipshit probably had slicked back hair. You know what I mean?
Oh, that just made him really
he thought he was
greasy in my
just the
brain.
shit. Yeah,
Right.
just fucking dickbag. But yeah, they remembered seeing a blue jean jacket, blue jeans, and dirty white tennis shoes. So,
Yeah.
that identifies half the population of Canada
I
in
was
the
gonna-
80s, but it's not enough to identify anyone really.
No,
individually.
that's so general, Johnny Q public, yeah.
But it's enough to get investigators paying attention. Because, right now, what other fucking leads do they have, really?
Yeah, no.
Other than the denim fucking nightmare. So what they have is a murdered 12-year-old girl, a very narrow timeline, and a handful of witness accounts that may or may not be connected.
It must have been frustrating for them.
Right.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I can't even imagine like what Barbara's going through, you know what I mean? The rest of the Welch family.
Right.
And just hours ago, it started as a normal day where their biggest concern was
making it to piano lessons on time.
Yeah.
Right.
So, now they're, they start asking her questions about where she'd been, who she might have spoken to, whether anyone else had noticed somebody watching kids in the park. And, so at this point, they really have no idea who the dirty denim dog is right now. So, but as they continue collecting these witness statements, they become increasingly interested in the reports involving this guy. And, it makes sense because, like I said, they're not drowning in fucking leads here.
No.
They're trying to build a homicide investigation from fragments of memories collected from people who had been enjoying a spring afternoon before any of them realized a crime had occurred.
Yeah.
So, they start taking a closer look at, the sightings of this dude. Like, who'd seen him? Where was he? How close had he been to Michella at the time? Do these descriptions match? All these questions, and they get a bunch of different answers. Like, one witness reported seeing Michella speaking with the man. And according to a later report, another witness said that the man appeared to be gesturing toward the gulch area. Now, and that's the one that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Because that's what these fucking weird fucking perverts do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he walked up to her and was like, hey, there's a fucking animal hurt down here. Will you come help me real quick?
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can remember being warned. Like, if anybody says, hey, I lost my dog, can you come help me find it?
Yeah.
They're like, kick him in the shins and run the opposite direction. So.
Yeah. So they get this description, and the problem is that nobody knows who the fuck he is.
Right.
So nobody can walk investigators directly to him and point to like a house and be like, that's the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
can't say with certainty.
Yeah, I mean, they're working with very little. It's like, I saw a guy here. I saw a guy over here. You know what I mean? And like, I don't like the cut of this guy's jib. And he looked at my dog funny. Like, go to his house.
Go to his house. Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
well, they've got a lot of suggestions, but no significant.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the good thing is that he stands out just enough to stay in their memory after the fact.
Oh, that is good.
So it's not nothing.
Okay.
So meanwhile, of course, the story of what has happened at Puget Park is spreading beyond the immediate search area. People start talking about it at work. Parents are talking about home. Kids are hearing about it from their friends and classmates.
Oh, yeah.
And because it's not some crime that happens far away to people nobody knew. You know what I mean? It's a 12-year-old Tacoma girl.
Yeah. It's right in your backyard.
Yeah. So as the investigation continues, they began putting together a composite sketch based on the witness descriptions they had collected. And that's always an interesting moment in a case because a sketch is both a lead and kind of an admission.
Right.
It's them saying, we think somebody saw the person we're looking for, but it's also them saying, we don't know who that person is.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So the best they can do is just kind of put that sketch out into the public.
Mm.
And, they hope somebody somewhere would recognize the face.
Right.
Now,
like, hey, that's my neighbor.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, these things are notoriously awful.
They are.
You know what I mean?
They are. They look like I drew them.
It's a very generic version of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll post it on the Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll let the listeners decide. I think it's awful.
It just reminds me of watching so many of those like unsolved crime shows. Like, here's a picture of this man wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
And they look so generic.
Right. Yeah. Like the Unabomber one.
Yeah.
It's just a dude in a hood with curly hair and glasses.
Right. That's the one I always envision.
Yeah. And when they that dude didn't look anything like that sketch.
No. And I'm like, how?
Wild-haired fucking crazy hillbilly.
Right.
So, but that it is what it is. That's what they got. They're working with what they got, and they put it out there hoping somebody is going to recognize the face. Because they need a fucking break.
Oh, definitely.
And they need a name, and they need something that's going to move the investigation forward.
Yes.
But really, what they're going to get was, the discovery that identifying the suspect is going to be a lot harder than anybody realized.
I can imagine, yeah.
Now, the release of the sketch did generate exactly the kind of response that they were hoping for, because people did start calling in. And a lot of people thought they recognized the man in the sketch, and others were convinced it was somebody they knew. So, of course, they document the information and start following up. And while that was happening, they continued trying to reconstruct exactly what had happened inside the park. But the challenge with that is that nobody had witnessed the actual attack. So there's no obvious suspect, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So all they're getting is just this garbled
information.
Yeah, that they have to try to fucking piece together. And like, how well do you trust people's memories also? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, because anything could get
because
obscured.
There's a tendency to want to be helpful.
Yes.
There's also a tendency to want to please. So sometimes when you're questioning a witness who was there, I don't think that you can naturally trust what they're saying they remember 100%, because it almost is like just the very asking of the question almost primes your brain to go a certain direction. You know what I mean?
Oh, I never thought of it like that before, but now, yeah. Because you're thinking, oh, I bet I did see someone wearing that, or, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, did you see anybody suspicious in the park wearing denim?
And then you're like, oh, denim person.
Well, well, that couldn't, in your brain just, it tries to assembling. Yeah. Whatever. I'm getting off track.
Sorry.
I just, my point is I don't, it needs to be taken with a grain of salt.
Yes. Gotcha.
So, and my other point is that that's what they got to work with, is these broken fragments and probably not overly reliable memories of what was going on in that in the park that day.
Right.
So this goes on for a long time. They're trying to figure out who killed Michella Welch. Mm-hmm. And about 4 months after Michella was murdered, we have another family living what seems like a completely normal day. Mm-hmm. Now it's August 4th, 1986. Still no progress in Michella's murder at this point. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's Monday. We have 13-year-old Jennifer Bastian enjoying summer break. Or, what's left of it. And this is one of those kids who people describe as responsible. The kind of kid who did what she said she was going to do. And in later interviews, her dad would say that you could set your watch by her punctuality.
Wow.
And that's not just like dad being proud, because everybody described her the same way. Mm-hmm. Overly dependable, active, always doing something. Okay. So that summer, she'd been training all summer long for an upcoming YMCA bicycle trip through the San Juan Islands.
Oh, wow. I bet that would have been beautiful.
Yeah. So she had been spending a tremendous amount of time riding her bicycle.
Yeah. Building endurance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And on August 4th, she wanted to get another ride in. So at around 2:00 that afternoon, she called her dad, Ralph, at work, asked if it was okay for her to ride through Point Defiance Park, which was only a couple miles away. He said yes. One condition, call when you get home.
Right.
So she agreed. And as far as anyone knew, that was the plan. Go for a ride, come home, call dad, normal stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the kind of shit that happens in thousands of homes every day and is forgotten 5 minutes later. Now, before heading to the park, Jennifer stopped by a friend's house. And this was actually a friend she would ride bike with all the time. Mm-hmm. And Jennifer asked if she wanted to come along, and the friend passed because she didn't think she could keep up with Jennifer's pace.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wonder, had the friend gone that day, if this would have happened.
Oh.
And if that's something that she's ever thought about. You know what I mean?
I bet she does.
So the two of them talked for a few minutes, and Jennifer told her she'd stop by again on her way home around 6:00. She gets back on her bike and heads towards the park. Mm-hmm. Nobody thinks anything of it.
Nah, normal, typical day.
Right. Why would you? She's 13.
Right.
She's responsible.
Exactly.
She's been riding bike all summer, so it's not unusual.
Right.
And she even left a note for her dad indicating that she expected to be back around 6:30 that evening.
Oh, that was very responsible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important detail because it tells you that she fully intended to come home.
Yeah.
And that she wasn't running away. She wasn't disappearing. She wasn't leaving her life behind. You know what I mean? Like, she expected to fucking be back for dinner.
Yeah.
And she was even supposed to go to the movies with her sister later that evening.
Oh.
So.
Yeah,
but,
something to look forward to. Yeah,
right.
You wouldn't just skip out on that. No way.
So as the afternoon turns into the evening, of course, something starts feeling wrong because she never stops back by her friend's house. She does not call her dad. And by the time Ralph gets home, of course, Jennifer and her bicycle are still gone. And just like in the first one, at first you're probably going to be like, okay, she's just running late. She stopped to talk to somebody. She lost track of time. Only this kid is not fucking known for doing that.
Right. That is not
period.
part of her personality. No.
So the longer the evening goes on, the harder it becomes for Ralph to just sit there and be like, okay, she's just running late. So he starts making some fucking phone calls.
Yeah.
And eventually he has to call his wife, Patty, at work and tell her that Jennifer is missing.
Oh, that'd be a horrible phone call to make and to receive.
Right?
My heart just sank.
And when she gets that phone call from Ralph, she doesn't immediately understand how serious it is.
Correct.
And that's not unusual because when somebody tells you that a 13-year-old is missing, your brain doesn't usually jump straight to the worst case scenario.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same shit. Like, okay, she lost track of time.
Did you call her friends?
She's over at XYZ talking to ABC.
Right.
And she met a cute boy on the way back. And
they're at the soda shop.
Right. Anything could be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not immediately thinking the fucking worst.
No.
But also, this isn't a kid who just disappears for hours without telling anybody. She's not known for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, when Patty gets there, she starts calling Jennifer's friends one by one, hoping that somebody has seen her. Maybe she changed her plans and this is the one time she forgot to tell fucking Ralph.
Right.
But, nobody knew where she was. Now, one friend did provide an important piece of information, though. The same friend Jennifer stopped to visit before heading to the park told Patty that Jennifer had said she'd stop by again on her way home around 6 o'clock, but never did. And it, and it's not super fucking huge, but it does help narrow down
kind of establish
the timeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we know from all the shows we do. That it's fucking
it's
important.
Yeah, it is important.
It's the biggest fucking thing is knowing
when and where.
The timeline, the chronology of it. So, so hours go by. She still hasn't come home. Nobody's heard from her. And around 8:30 that night, of course, Patty and Ralph have to make a decision. All of us as parents hope we never have to make, and they call and they report Jennifer missing. Now, unlike a lot of stories that we cover, the police did not waste any motherfucking time. This wasn't, there was no attitude of, we'll wait 24 hours. We'll see if they come back.
Yeah,
they just ran away because they're kids. You know what I mean? There was no assumption that Jennifer was going to just show up eventually. And from the beginning, officers recognized that something was very, very wrong.
It makes my heart sink. Yay for them jumping on it as quick as they did. But
exactly.
my gosh.
Yeah, kudos to them for treating it seriously immediately. So they get out there right away. And they report her missing at 8:30. They're out there searching before 10 p.m. That's how quickly this gets organized.
That's a huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just a few people. It's a bunch of cops, and they're out there with, bloodhounds. And dogs and shit like this.
They're like, no, this
And I'm sure it's
Frickin'
because
serious.
just a few months ago,
We have the other girl.
you got the disappearance of Michella. You know what I mean?
Oh, so that's still fresh on their minds.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Okay. That makes sense to me. They're a quick response. Okay.
So like I said, they throw a tremendous amount of resources into this.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in the dogs. They're trying to determine where she had ridden, where she may have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether there was any sign that she had been injured somewhere along the trail system.
Oh,
Anything that might tell them where she had gone.
yeah.
You know, a bicycle, a backpack, a piece of clothing, a witness, anything.
Right.
But by the next morning, they still haven't found her. And they still haven't found her bike.
Okay.
Now, the bloodhounds did pick up a scent trail along routes Jennifer was known to use.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that Jennifer used those routes.
So it could have been something that had.
So it makes sense that her
Previous.
scent would be there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, gosh.
yeah, you know, because she'd been training for that bicycle trip and she'd spent a lot of time around those trails.
Right.
So they weren't able to determine whether the scent trail belonged to the day she disappeared or had been left there days earlier.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, as the hours go by, volunteers join in, neighbors join in, friends join in. Jennifer's softball teammates show up and help search.
Oh, my word.
And Point Defiance Park, if you've never been there, covers hundreds of acres of wooded trails.
Yes.
It goes all the way down to the beach. There's shoreline, steep terrain, very heavily forested areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they got to work their way through it on foot, on horseback, in all-terrain vehicles.
Yeah.
And basically they're searching anywhere they can fucking reasonably reach. And they are not finding shit. No Jennifer, no bicycle.
Damn.
You know. Now, witnesses eventually start coming forward. And one of the most important reports come from a group of several boys who said they had seen Jennifer riding her bike in the park that afternoon. But what caught their attention wasn't just that they had seen Jennifer, because these boys also remembered seeing another cyclist. And according to them, the man had been riding behind Jennifer. Now, she appeared to be riding normally, like someone focused on training and putting in miles.
Right.
The boys didn't report seeing her act frightened or alarmed, and they didn't report seeing any interaction between the two. What they did remember was the man. He stayed in their memory because he seemed to be riding very close behind her. And when investigators interviewed the boys, they described him as a thin white male in his late 20s wearing dark cycling clothes, white Nike shoes, and mirrored sunglasses.
Ah, the mirrored sunglasses.
So, you know, at this point, they don't know who the fuck this guy is, and they don't know whether or not he's connected to Jennifer's disappearance.
Right.
He could have just been going fast and positioning
eventually
himself to go
pass
around
her.
her.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my thought.
Yeah. Now, they don't know, you know, any of this, but they do know they need to find him because they got themselves some questions for him.
Yeah, because if he saw her, then they would like to know, hey, did you see her go off the
Exactly.
trail?
Because he might be the last fucking person that saw her alive.
Right? And all he's just like, I'm just out on a bike ride and I was getting ready to pass her. Oh.
Yeah. Now, once they get the descriptions from the boys, you know, shit starts moving quickly again. Whether the cyclist was involved or not, he's somebody they definitely want to talk to.
Oh, for sure.
And like you said, because he might have seen who she spoke to, or he may have seen something that nobody else noticed or saw.
Exactly.
So again, they do a composite sketch. It's
kind of like, hey, if this is you, please come forward. We need to ask.
It looks like it could be a lot of people.
Yeah, it's got to be general. It's got to be, a white male in his 20s. That's 98% of the population.
Right. So by August 8th, she's missing for 4 days now.
Okay.
4 days of searching, 4 days of waiting, 4 days of hoping every phone call might be the one that finally, brings some kind of fucking answer.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't. So the police hold a press conference. They release the sketch and they ask the public for help identifying the man.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who recognized him is urged to come forward. Anybody who'd seen him in or around Point Defiance Park was asked to contact the investigators.
Mm-hmm.
So, they get...
I can't imagine they probably got a good chunk of phone calls.
Yeah. They get a lot of calls from people who think they recognize the cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
And then others report, saying that they saw Jennifer that day. And a lot of tips came from inside Tacoma, and some others came from further away, which is weird. But
why would they come from further away?
All they could do was document everything and follow up whenever they could.
Yeah, because you have to.
Yeah, so 4 days becomes 5. They're waiting. They're doing all this stuff. People are saying they think they recognize this fucking guy, and still no Jennifer, still no bicycle, and they keep searching and searching and searching. Now, they searched so much of the park without finding any evidence that eventually they kind of have to shut it down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't justify continuing the operation at the same level.
No, because that's a lot of resources.
Yeah. Now, it's around this time that detectives started looking more closely at the similarities people were noticing between Jennifer's disappearance and what had happened to Michella Welch a few months earlier. Because the girls were very close in age.
Correct.
They had both disappeared while riding bicycles.
Mm-hmm.
Both had vanished from parks in Tacoma.
So highly public places.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, those similarities are kind of difficult to ignore. So investigators made the decision to search Puget Park as well.
Oh, good to go back.
Right. If there was even a chance the cases were connected, they needed to know.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm on the page.
So, they go and they turn their attention to the park.
Okay.
And they search.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really find anything.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. I kind of held my breath there for a minute.
And they don't find anything for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, it disappeared on August 4th.
Yes.
Now, in interviews, Jennifer's mother, Patty, said at some point, you can't cry anymore. And you can't sit around and wonder, and your body tells you that you need to get up and do something. So she decides that the thing she's going to do is she needs to paint the living room to stay busy.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
And she's at home on August 28th painting when she hears the front screen door open. Mm-hmm. And at this point, Jennifer has been missing for 24 days now.
Yeah. Almost a month.
They've been searching everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when she looks up from what she's doing, she sees that there is a police officer standing there.
Oh.
Now, this is very, a few of these investigators were known to, they became close with Patty. So it's not unusual that he walked in.
Okay.
And I'm not saying she went to the door and answered the door. No.
He walked right on into the house.
This guy is very familiar with Patty. Like they have coffee together and shit like that,
Oh, wow.
So he goes over and takes the paintbrush out of her hand and helps her down off the ladder and sits her down and tells her that they found Jennifer's body.
Oh, God.
And he explains what happens. He says 2 days earlier, a jogger had contacted the park police after noticing a strong odor near one of the trails in Point Defiance Park. And because Jennifer was still missing, the police took it very seriously, and they went out and searched the area. But it was night, and the dog that they had with them was not a cadaver dog.
Oh, okay.
So it missed
all of that.
Everything, and they didn't find anything. But they did go back the next morning when it was light, and this time they brought in trained dogs and continued searching area where the odor had been reported. And they search all day and night again without finding her.
Oh, wow.
But on August 28th, they finally spot her bicycle, which was laying on its side about 150 to 200 feet off the path where Jennifer had planned to ride.
Oh, my God.
It was covered with fern fronds, so it wasn't just sitting out in the open where someone walking by would immediately see it. And once searchers found the bike, they started looking more carefully through the area around it. And deeper into the brush, they found Jennifer.
Oh, my God.
And her body had been concealed with branches and leaves, almost like someone had built a rough cover over her. So, I will just, I like to just give you guys the light version, and I'll say that she, like Michella, was sexually assaulted. I suppose I'll have to tell you that Michella's means of death was her throat was cut, and Jennifer was strangled.
Wow.
So, very similar.
Very similar indeed. Wow. Wow.
So, up until now, we're trying to find a missing 13-year-old girl. Now we're dealing with the murders of not only Michella Welch, but also Jennifer Bastian.
Good Lord.
Now, one of the things they noticed right away, which of course you're going to, is that she'd not simply been left beside a trail. She was concealed. The bike had been concealed. And whoever had put her there had taken time to do it.
Yeah.
So, that kind of changes how they're viewing this case, because it's not a situation where someone panicked and fled.
No.
At least not from their perspective.
Right.
The whole scene suggested planning and effort. So, and it also it suggests that whoever was responsible had spent more time in that area than investigators would have liked.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So as they kind of, document the location and collect evidence and begin reconstructing what kind of happened, they also started comparing what they were seeing to, Michella's case. Because these have very broad similarities.
Yeah.
They're both young girls. Like I said, they were both riding bicycles. They both vanished and met a terrible end inside a Tacoma park.
Yeah. I don't like that.
So, they're looking at another crime scene involving a young girl found in a wooded area that disappeared during what should have been an ordinary day.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't automatically mean that the same person is responsible.
True.
But it's fucking hard to ignore.
Yeah, those similarities are so strong.
Yeah. So, and if it, it means if the cases are connected, it means they're not looking for someone who had committed a single murder. It meant they were looking for someone who was willing to do it again.
Oh, it's so sick and creepy.
Right? So once they find Jennifer, news of that spreads pretty quickly through Tacoma. Because at this point, people have been following this fucking case for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And it's huge. So now they're trying to determine exactly, what happened to her on August 4th, where she had encountered her killer, and whether the person responsible had left behind anything that could identify them.
I think that's always a tough thing for the police to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And of course, I'm sure that Tacoma has got to be getting pretty fucking nervous, thinking, all right, well, what do we have? A fucking serial predator fucking targeting little girls in the fucking park? You know what I mean?
Right. Oh.
So.
And all I can sit here and think is just the parent perspective on all of this. And good Lord, those poor moms and dads, just, oh my gosh.
So I'll give you a trigger warning right now.
Okay.
If you don't want to hear this part, I would skip forward about 20 seconds. When Jennifer is found, she's lying on her back with her arms and legs spread apart. Her swimsuit and shorts were pulled down to one ankle. They immediately, and this is while they find her. They can see that she has been viciously sexually assaulted. And then, of course, they find a twine ligature around her neck. So, the autopsy comes back and confirms that she died from strangulation. Nobody's really surprised, but, based on how they find her.
Right.
And that's, kind of where things start getting really uncomfortable for them, because they're not looking at this crime scene in a vacuum. Because just a few months earlier, they were standing in another Tacoma park investigating the murder of Michella. And now they're like, okay, we can't ignore this. There's too many fucking similarities.
Yeah.
So, if you're a detective working these cases, there's no way you're not asking that question. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Do we have a serial killer? Because if the answer is yes, then you're not looking for somebody who just killed once and, regretted it and tried to cover it up. You're looking for somebody who's done it twice. And you're looking for someone who, could be looking to do it again.
Right.
Really.
Oh, that's so scary. I cannot. I can only imagine what it would be like being a detective and trying to separate your home life from your work life at that point. And trying to keep the safety of the public in mind. Oh my God. Hats off to you guys.
All right. Now there's another detail floating around in the background of this that kind of suddenly seemed a lot more important. And that's that after Michella was murdered, a jogger had reported seeing a man who supposedly resembled the composite sketch released in her case.
Really?
Which is, weird. But the location of that sighting was Point Defiance Park, the same park where Jennifer disappeared.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. But they're not in any kind of position where they're going to throw that away. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, every little bit is going to help.
Exactly. So, right. So maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. But the problem they're dealing with is more than that now, is that Jennifer has been outside for 24 days.
Oh, the decomposition.
Right. And 24 days, it's a fucking long time when you're trying to preserve evidence. Because there's weather and animals, and there's searchers who have been moving through the area. So everything really is working against you every single day. So Tacoma investigators decide that they need help. And this is where they get the Green River Task Force.
Oh.
Because let's not forget, this is in the 80s. This is 86 right now. The Green River Killer.
See, and that's what I remember more from my childhood, is hearing Green River Killer.
It's pretty much overshadowing what is happening with this case. But yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a task force trying to find him. And they bring in that task force. Now, let me just say, it's not because they think the Green River Killer is responsible.
Oh, God, no.
Because, I don't want anybody to hear that and immediately and jump to that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not being like, oh, here's 2 unknown fucking victims of the Green River Killer.
No.
Now, the reason they're brought in is because those investigators have a tremendous amount of experience processing outdoor crime scenes. That's why.
Which is exactly what they need here.
They've spent years working wooded areas and recovering evidence and figuring out how to work scenes that have been exposed to these elements. So they start going through it piece by piece, and they collect hair and twigs and insect larvae, basically anything that might tell them who had been there and what had happened.
Right.
And at one point, they find something that gets everybody's attention, which is a partial fingerprint.
Out there?
Yeah. Huh. Now, if you're working this case, that's the kind of thing that makes you sit up a little straighter. Like, huh? Like, what do we got there?
Yeah.
Because it feels like maybe you've got something. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's the break.
I know. I just got hope.
Yeah. So they run it through Washington's automated fingerprint system, and something like 200,000 prints get checked, and they get absolutely nothing.
Oh.
No match. No suspect, no lead.
Wow.
Just another fucking dead end.
But now they have a fingerprint, and then they can have that in their file system. Ta-da!
Yeah. So at this point, they still don't know who killed Jennifer or Michella. And they don't know if any of it is connected at all.
Right? There's so many unknowns.
I know. That's got to be frustrating. Like, you've got a partial fingerprint that goes fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure for a minute they were super fucking excited.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right? And then to feel like you just hit your head against a brick wall.
And to run it against that many, you know, it's like
200,000?
Over 200,000 fingerprints.
Damn.
And just fucking nothing. So now, but they can't just stop because one thing doesn't work out.
No, of course not. No,
so,
you gotta keep going.
Yeah, a 6-person task force is put together to focus on the murders of Michella and Jennifer Bastian.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and when they sit down and start looking at everything they have, the reality is that they don't have a standout suspect at all. All they have is pieces. In Michella's case, there had been reports of a man hanging around a bridge in Puget Park before her murder. In Jennifer's case, there was the cyclist, the man seen riding behind her at Point Defiance. And that's the problem, because nobody can identify either one of them. Nobody can give a name to either one of them.
No. They're awfully generic. Yeah.
All they can do, all investigators can do at this point is just keep fucking digging. And, you know, as the cases continue to get more attention, they get a shit ton more tips.
Oh, I bet.
And some of them don't amount to much, but one of them definitely gets their attention.
Oh.
Now, a man comes forward claiming that he saw Jennifer being forced into a black van the day she disappeared. Now, according to the report, this happened sometime between about 2 and 2:30 in the afternoon. And obviously, if it's true, it's huge.
Yeah, that would be
because
very huge.
You know, you're not talking about somebody disappearing somewhere deep in a park. You're talking about an abduction.
Yeah. Oh, my stomach turned.
Now, the problem is detectives immediately run into the same issue they've been running into all along, trying to figure out whether the information is actually reliable. Because this witness isn't calling the police that afternoon. He's not calling that evening. He's coming forward later.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and according to reports, he says he didn't think anything of what he saw at the time. Like, really? You saw a child getting shoved into the back of a black van, and you didn't think anything of it. You're like, huh, just another Tuesday in Tacoma.
No. Oh my God.
Must be one of them theater pieces.
Traveling theater.
Yeah. Art.
Shit.
Look at that. Mobile art. Fucking idiot. Good God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, whether the explanation makes sense or not. Okay, now he says he didn't think of anything of what he saw at the time, and he thought that Jennifer was just getting help with her bicycle. Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time, Ted.
That's right.
Now, okay, so whether that explanation makes sense or not, they still have to investigate it. So they start working the lead. And eventually it does bring them to a man living out of a van.
Oh, living in it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, when investigators get a look inside, shit gets weird fast.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the walls of the van are reportedly covered with drawings of underage girls in explicit positions.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Now, if you're a detective already investigating the murder of a 13-year-old girl, this is going to get your attention immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they still need evidence. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking creepy, weird, and gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it illegal? Nah,
No.
I don't know. So they need something that connects him to Jennifer. And that's where shit gets difficult again. Because they start digging into him. They look at where he's been, whether he has any connection to Point Defiance Park, and whether there's anything that can place him with Jennifer on the day she disappeared.
Right.
And again, for a time, it feels like they are finally getting somewhere.
Yeah.
But the problem is that suspicion and proof aren't the same thing. Now, as disturbing as investigators find this fucking dude, they still need evidence that connects him to Jennifer's murder. And no matter how hard they fucking look, they can't find it.
Yeah, like no shirt, no shoes, no.
Right. So they keep
hair
pushing. And eventually they're able to compare him against evidence already recovered in Michella Welch's case. And he doesn't match.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. But that's important because they compared it against Michella's.
Oh,
Not Jennifer's.
Not Jennifer's, but against
So
Michelle's.
they're already investigating this and leaning heavily on the possibility that the same person killed both girls.
Oh.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have done that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, now, if the man is eliminated from Michella's case, then it's a lot harder to make him fit Jennifer's case, too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Right.
didn't think about that. Yeah. If you can dismiss him for one, you can dismiss him for both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going.
Yeah. So, they're trying to piece together these movements. More people are calling in. More people are talking. And the more they do, the messier their timeline becomes. Because the witness who reported seeing Jennifer being forced into a van, and that's a weird word to use, forced into a van. Like, yeah, she's not getting help with her fucking bicycle if she's being forced into a van.
No, she's been pushed, shoved, whatever.
Right. Now, that event places at around 2 to 2:30 in the afternoon. But there's other witnesses that are continuing to place Jennifer inside Point Defiance Park well after that. And some people report seeing her riding through the park between 3 and 5 o'clock. And another one says that they saw her near one of the park entrances around 6 o'clock, resting and drinking water.
Well, that's so weird.
Now, of course, they can't automatically assume that every sighting is accurate because, like I said, witness memories can be wrong, times can get mixed up, and people can honestly believe they saw something and still be mistaken.
True.
But if even some of those sightings are correct, then the van abduction theory starts having a lot of problems. Because Jennifer would have had to somehow reappear in the park hours after she was supposedly forced into a vehicle.
Right?
So that's kind of the issue that they kept running into. Every promising lead came with another question attached to it. You know, they'd get a witness statement pointing them in one direction, but then another witness points them somewhere else.
Oh, that'd be so frustrating.
Yeah,
Oh, my
so
God.
the suspect looks good until detectives start trying to connect him to the actual evidence. And, you know, the theory sounds solid until somebody starts comparing it against the timeline. So, despite all the hours being poured into this, they're still looking for the same thing they've been looking for from the beginning, which is a suspect they can actually prove was responsible.
Oh, God.
Because the van guy does not end up being their answer. So once that lead falls apart, you know, they're back in a position that's really all too familiar for them. Because at this point, they've spent months chasing tips and interviewing witnesses and comparing reports and trying to figure out whether Jennifer's murder and Michella's murder are connected. But obviously they're missing the one thing they need the most, which is they don't know who the fuck they're looking for at all.
I don't envy them.
Like they don't have a fucking clue.
God, that'd be so frustrating.
Right?
Because, yeah. I mean, you don't have cameras in the park capturing images.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing back then.
All they have is witness statements, and they have reports about suspicious people. And the cyclist, of course, and the man seen around the bridge. But every time they kind of start pulling on one of those threads, it eventually unravels into nothing. But one thing that they do have is evidence from Michella's case. Because investigators recovered a sperm sample.
Oh.
And while the technology available in the mid-1980s isn't anything close to what it will become later and is nowadays, it does kind of give them a way to start excluding people.
Oh.
So, and I mean, at this point, that's all they can do, right?
Right.
They don't know who the fuck they're looking for.
No.
So instead of being like, okay, we're looking for a needle in a haystack, let's make it easier by removing some of the hay.
I like that. So how? Yeah, how?
Yeah, okay. Well, let me tell you. Yeah. So when names come up during the investigation, they can compare those individuals against the evidence they have and begin crossing certain people off the list. Does that make sense?
It does.
So let's say you were like, oh, my neighbor Ted, boy, I've seen some strange comings and goings over there, and he seems to always be focused on the kids at the bus stop.
Yeah.
They would go, they'd be like, yo, dude, how about you give us a DNA sample? We can cross you off our list. So they go, they compare it, doesn't match. That's a guy off your list. They can close that.
Okay.
And then the next time Crazy Linda calls claiming Ted's not on the up and up, they're going to be like, yeah. No, we cleared him.
Yeah.
So that's them removing hay.
Oh, that's good. I like how they're doing that. Yeah. Okay. Now that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
Now, this is good, but the problem is that eliminating suspects doesn't bring them any closer to identifying the right one. As frustrating as that is.
Right. I was going to say.
and and this goes on for quite a while, and they just can't seem to get the breakthrough they need. And it also creates another problem that every major investigation eventually runs into: resources.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because, these detectives are not working in some kind of vacuum where this is the only fucking crime that's ever happened in a town in the history of man. No, there's new crimes happening all the time. New cases are coming in. And every investigator assigned to Jennifer and Michelle's murders is an investigator who can't be assigned somewhere else.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, despite months of work, the task force still doesn't have a suspect they can arrest, charge, or even fucking confidently identify. Now, this doesn't mean that they stop caring about the case.
No.
It doesn't mean that they stop wanting answers. It simply means that they're running headfirst into the reality that they've spent an enormous amount of time and effort on 2 murders without getting any fucking closer to solving either one.
Right.
So, I mean, before long, you
gotta move.
The difficult reality starts forcing difficult decisions about what's going to happen next.
Oh, that must be so frustrating for them, as well as the parents.
Yeah.
Knowing that they have to invest their resources wisely.
Yeah. So eventually the investigation does reach a point that nobody working it wants it to reach. They've spent months on this, trying to identify something. They've looked at everything. But at the end of all that work, they're still standing in the same place. They don't know who killed Jennifer Bastian. They don't know who killed Michella Welch. And they don't have any idea where to fucking go next. So by March of 1987, the decision is made to disband the 6-person task force.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the investigation is officially ending, but it does mean that the dedicated team that had been focused on it is no longer going to exist. So
Yeah. God, that must have been hard.
Yeah. And one of the most frustrating parts of all this is that investigators are still sitting on evidence. So today, when you hear that, the reaction is usually pretty immediate. Process it. Fucking test it. See what you got.
Right.
But
it's 1987.
right, that's looking at the situation through present day lenses.
Yeah.
And back then, crime labs didn't have unlimited resources.
No.
They didn't have, and a lot of their efforts and resources they were directed towards cases where detectives already had viable suspects.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't trying to solve cold cases with this.
No.
You know at this point this is not really a cold case, but they were the cases that were moving toward prosecution.
Yes. That's understandable.
Yeah, and Jennifer and Michella's murders, sadly, they weren't in that category.
It kind of felt stalled at that point. Yeah.
I mean, they had evidence, they had theories, and they had investigators who wanted answers, but what they didn't have was any kind of suspect.
Yeah.
And no fucking leads on how to find a fucking suspect.
Yeah. Again, it's like you're hitting your head up against that wall going, I've got to be missing something. And you're just like, I don't know what to tell you.
But kudos to them because they did save everything because they knew that there could be evidence that matters and they just didn't have the resources available to pursue every possibility.
Right. Thank God that they had the room and the capacity to do that. Oh yeah. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I can imagine that you would have had so many requests put in, like in writing to different places to be even granted access to do some of the testing that they probably wanted to do.
Yeah.
I know that takes time.
So they get disbanded.
Mm-hmm.
And then even after the task force is disbanded, the murders of Jennifer Bastian and Michella Welch really never completely disappear from public conversation because people were still talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
And, parents still remembered them. And every so often something would happen that pushed the cases back into the spotlight, which is what happened in 1988.
Oh.
Now, a local television investigation started looking into unsolved murders involving young women and girls throughout the Tacoma area.
Okay.
And as reporters dug into cases, they began asking a question that had been sitting in the back of a lot of people's minds for quite a while. What if these weren't isolated crimes? What if there was a connection between some of them?
Mm-hmm.
And the report eventually examined roughly 20 unsolved murders and disappearances.
What? 20?
Jennifer's case was included. Michella's case was included.
Oh.
And once those names started appearing together with other unsolved murders, people naturally begin wondering whether Tacoma might be dealing with something much larger than anyone originally realized.
Oh.
Now, again, you've got to remember the time period here. This is Western Washington in the 1980s. So we're talking, again, the Green River investigation is dominating headlines.
Mm-hmm.
People are already hyper aware that serial killers can operate for years without being identified.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when reporters start talking about dozens of unsolved murders, people fucking pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And law enforcement pays attention too.
Mm-hmm.
Because the publicity generated enough discussion that investigators were forced to take another look at the possibility that multiple cases throughout the region might be connected.
Oh, wow. Because that just because you're so focused on these two and then to broaden it up. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And at the time, comments coming from the head of the Green River Task Force kind of only added fuel to the conversation. Because according to reports, he publicly stated there was very little question that investigators were dealing with at least one serial killer and possibly more than one operating in the area.
Oh, that's just so crazy.
Right? And it's the kind of statement that gets people's attention because suddenly the conversation isn't just about Jennifer or Michella. It's about whether there are multiple predators operating throughout the region and whether some of these unsolved murders belong to the same fucking dude.
Oh, it's just kind of heart sickening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they start comparing cases and they examine circumstances and they look for overlaps.
Mm-hmm.
And after doing that, they reach a conclusion that probably surprised some people.
Oh.
Because while detectives still believed Jennifer and Michella could be connected to each other, they weren't convinced the two girls belonged with the larger collection of murders being discussed publicly. In other words, they weren't seeing enough evidence to place Jennifer and Michella inside that broader theory.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And once that possibility kind of started fading, so did a lot of the momentum surrounding the renewed attention. Now, the television reports generated discussion, they generated questions, they renewed public interest, but what they didn't generate were fucking answers. So again, before long, they're facing the same problem they've been facing for years at this point. They don't know who killed these girls.
Oh, my God.
And despite the burst of attention, they were really no closer to solving either case than they had been before.
Well, shit.
Right?
Because you would have thought maybe by bringing it back into public light that someone would have been like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. And I think we're going to end there.
I think that's a great place to end.
I think it's a perfect place to end.
I think
we're going to have this a two-parter.
Definitely.
And you know what? I don't care. We'll do as many two-parters as we want.
I like it because I like the fact that...
I don't know why I was worried about it at all. And being like, oh, we need to focus on just single episodes. People will hate it. They don't want to keep tuning in to find out more of the story. But it seems like they do.
I think they do.
It seems like you really like us.
Yeah.
So,
I like the fact that we give them all the information that we can possibly give them.
Yeah. And we didn't have a whole lot of creative banter at the beginning of the show.
No.
Where we're just talking bullshit. I feel like we kind of jumped right into it. And we're at an hour and 20 minutes of show so far.
I love that.
And there's some juicy bits coming up.
I'm excited.
But we're just over halfway. So I figure let's wrap it up here for this episode. We'll make it a two-parter and we'll give you the conclusion next Sunday.
I know, lots to think about in the meantime.
Yeah, lots to think about. And in the meantime, wherever you're at and wherever you're listening, I hope the sun is shining for you. And if it's not, you know what? Maybe go out and make a little bit of your own.
There you go.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hey, listeners, need a break? If you're looking to step away from the heavier cases for a bit, be sure to check out our palate cleansing Mini Pines episodes, hosted by Bekah. No murder. Just history, haunts, and strange stories from all across the Pacific Northwest. It's the same eerie atmosphere you love, just a little lighter, a little weirder, and sometimes even a little fun. New Mini Pines episodes drop every other Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're not quite ready to leave the woods, but you want something a little different, tune in to Mini Pines, right here on Shadows in the Pines. Because even without the darkness, the pines still have stories to tell.
Like what you just heard? Be sure to check out our social media pages and like, follow, subscribe, and share us on TikTok at Shadows in the Pines, on Instagram and Facebook at Shadows in the Pines Podcast, or feel free to email the show at shadowsinthepinespodcast@gmail.com. And of course, if you want exclusive bonus episodes, be sure to join the inner circle on our Patreon at patreon.com/shadowsinthepines. Thanks for listening.